Acha ji, Assalamu alaikum. So today we are going to be completing the paper that we were doing yesterday, which was 5070 May June 2023 paper 22. We had completed up till the seventh question, ठीक है? And now we are going to do the eighth question today. और जो eighth question के अंदर first part है, what does it say? This question is about electrolysis. The table shows some information about electrolysis of three different electrolytes using graphite electrodes. Complete table 8.1 with names of products at each electrode. All right. So we just have to write the products that would form if the electrolytes which are given over here are. All right. So the first one is concentrated aqueous potassium iodide. All right. So because it is aqueous, so it must contain the H positive ion, the K positive ion, and then it must contain the hydroxide ion, OH negative ion, and it must contain the iodide ion. All right. Whenever uh, in cations, well, in cations, you don't really have to do anything. You just have to see which is less reactive. Since H positive is less reactive than K, therefore, the product at anode would be H2, right? The product at anode would be H2. But since the anions are hydroxide and iodide ions, what do? We look at the thing. We look at the concentration, ठीक है? So because the concentration says it is concentrated, this means that there are more iodide ions than hydroxide ions. So therefore over here iodide ions will discharge and iodine will form. All right, so I2 will form over here. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If you don't understand, you can ask. Now dilute sulfuric acid. Dilute sulfuric acid is H2SO4, right, in aqueous conditions. So in this type of solution there must be the H plus ion, there must be the OH ion, right? And then there must be the SO4 minus 2 ion. Why is there only one cation over here? Because both water and acid have H positive as their cation. Therefore, for this answer, we do not have the second anion. All right, the second cation. Sorry. Okay, so because of that, this one is going to be either. So the cation is only going to be H positive. So when it discharges, it is going to produce H2. And out of OH minus ion and SO4 minus ion, you are going to not look at the concentrations, because whenever a polyatomic anion is present, then always hydroxide ion discharges. And whenever hydroxide ion discharges, it produces oxygen O2. All right. Then we have molten lead to bromide. Now molten compounds, they tend to not have many problems in them. Why? Because they only contain two types of ions. The first ion that they contain is the cation of the salt, and then they also contain the anion of the salt. All right, so the product of this would have Pb2 plus and bromide is Br minus, right? So it would produce lead Pb and Br2. All right, I have just seen that uh, these are the products at cathode, but we've written them in the anode section. So let's just move it over here. All right, and then bring everything in their respective places. All right, so product at cathode. So cathode पे cations जाते हैं, and at anode we have anions going there. All right, Br is always Br2. It's a polyatomic ion. All right, I hope that makes sense. Okay. Um, and it also says right with the names of the product, not the formula. So we might as well just write their names as well. So the first name is iodine, oxygen, bromine. And then for these guys, we can also write the names. Hydrogen, hydrogen, lead. All right. I hope this makes sense. Now, next, give two reasons why graphite is a suitable material for which to make electrodes. Why is graphite a suitable material? Firstly, it conducts electricity, right? Graphite is a good conductor of electricity. It conducts electricity. All right. And then the second thing is that it contains, it does not react with substances. It does not interfere, right? So it does not take part in chemical reactions, which we say it is inert. It is inert, all right? So it does not react and it conducts electricity. So two reasons which are very good, all right? Next, we have aluminum is manufactured by the electrolysis of aluminum oxide dissolved in molten cryolite. At the anode, oxide ions react to make oxygen molecules. Construct the ionic half equation for this reaction, all right? So oxide ions are turning into oxygen molecules. At anode, we always see oxidation, loss of electrons, all right? So O2 forms, and since each oxide loses two electrons, formation of O2 means two oxide ions are discharging. So four electrons must remove, and we should put a 2 over here to balance the equation, all right? This is liquid and this is gas, all right? State symbols were not asked. You did not have to write state symbols. So you can choose to not write the state symbols as well. Okay. Next question. A sample of clean dry air contains 0.04% carbon dioxide by volume. Calculate the number of molecules of carbon dioxide in 480 decimeter cube of clean dry air at room temperature and pressure. 1 mole of any gas contains 6.02 into 10 to the power 23 molecules. All right. So first of all, we have to find out that this is the total volume of air, right? This is what? This is the total volume of air. This is a very typical question. So you are going to need some maths in it. It is common sense as well, a little bit of it. So 0.04% of it is carbon dioxide. So we are going to find out. First, we have to write a statement down because that is going to help us. Volume of CO2 is equals to 0.04%. That is it, right? So yeah, we don't have to put the next zeros. Of volume of air, all right? So according to that, we can find out volume of CO2 is equals to 0.04. When percentage sign is removed, you put 100 beneath it. Okay? Of in maths means multiply. I'm sure you guys know that. Volume of air is what is given to us, which is 480 dm cube. So multiply by 480 dm cube. So what will we get? 0.04 upon 100 multiply by 480.
It's 0.192.
0.192. All right, so we get 0.192 dm cube of carbon dioxide, right? Now, if you know, you want to calculate number of molecules of carbon dioxide. Number of molecules you always calculate by a very simple formula. You calculate it by multiplying moles with the Avogadro number, right? So let me just write the formula up top. Number of molecules equals moles multiplied by Avogadro number Na, right? It is also called Na. In some manuscripts, it is also called L. All right. So we can use any one of those symbols, okay? But we do not know the moles, right? So first we are going to calculate out the moles of CO2 now, right? We have the volume of gas, and from volume of gas, we can always calculate moles. It's very simple. Moles is equals to volume of gas divided by 24. That is how you calculate it. If the volume is in dm cube, you divide by 24, and if the volume is in cm cube, you divide by 24,000. All right. So moles equals to 0.192 divided by 24. What will be our answer?
8 into 10 to the power minus 3.
We get 8 into 10 to the power minus 3 moles. All right. So these are the moles of CO2. Now we just have to finally calculate the the number of molecules. Okay. So we say number of molecules equals to mole multiplied by Avogadro number. All right. Moles are 8 into 10 to the power minus 3, 8 into 10 to the power minus 3, multiplied by 6.02 into 10 to the power 23. When you multiply these two values together, what do you get?
Sir, 4.816 into 10 to the power 21.
Into 10 to the power 21 molecules. All right. So your final answer is 4.816 into 10 to the power 21 molecules. Next question. Complete combustion of fuels such as gasoline makes carbon dioxide. One of the hydrocarbons in gasoline has the molecular formula C9H20. Construct the equation for complete combustion of C9H20. All right. So we want to construct the equation for complete combustion of C9H20. How are we able to do that? It's very simple. Complete combustion likha hai. So you are going to say C9H20 plus O2. You should always leave a space behind every element because you're going to have to balance it. Gives CO2 plus H2O. The rule for balancing is always balance carbons first. So we put a 9 over here because we want to balance carbons first. And then we balance hydrogens. So we put a 10 over here because we want to have 20 hydrogens. So 10 times 2 is 20. All right. And then we balance oxygens. 9 times 2 are 18 oxygens over here. And 10 times 1 is 10 oxygens over here. 18 plus 10 is 28 oxygens in total. So we want to put a 14 over here to balance. Okay. One thing you guys have to keep in mind is whenever it says complete combustion, you produce carbon dioxide. If it said incomplete combustion, it would have to have carbon monoxide, CO, not CO2 then. If there is incomplete combustion, CO forms. All right. Higher levels of atmospheric carbon dioxide lead to increased global warming. Give one adverse effect of global warming. What is one adverse effect of global warming? The main reason that people were crying because of global warming was the melting of the ice caps, right? There are ice caps near the near Antarctica, the subcontinent, right? The continent, right? Those guys have been frozen for generations, right? And because of global warming, the average temperature of the Earth was increasing, and because the average temperature of Earth was increasing, those ice caps were melting. We saw climate change, we saw flooding, tsunamis, right? If the ice caps melt, water levels will rise, all right? So rise in water levels, that is not good. Rise in water levels and melting of ice caps. All right. These are two phenomenal problems because of global warming. All right. Extinction of many species, that is also caused because of global warming. But anyways, describe how the presence of gases such as carbon dioxide in atmosphere causes global warming. This is a 2 mark question. It's from environmental chemistry. You need to understand why carbon dioxide causes global warming. So first of all, you have to give the introduction that carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. And what are greenhouse gases? And it absorbs and retains heat from sun during day and gradually release it overnight. Gradually release it overnight, meaning it absorbs heat from the sun during the day, and then it keeps it, and then at night time it releases that air. It releases that air slowly, right? And because of that absorption of heat during the daytime and then released during the nighttime does not get any cooler. So now when the next day starts, the temperature continues to rise and rise and rise. This showed a pattern that on average the whole world experienced an increase in temperature. Every region of the world, whether it was cold or whether it was warm, the whole world experienced that the average temperature that we have in this century is approximately 2 degrees more than the temperature in the previous century, meaning from 1900 to 2000. Whatever the temperatures were throughout the world, now temperatures are 2 degrees warmer. That makes a drastic difference. All right. So releases it overnight, making nighttime warmer. First off, this is just extra that we wrote. All right. Next, carbon dioxide is removed from the atmosphere by photosynthesis. State the word equation for photosynthesis. This is a word equation that you have to remember. Photosynthesis is when carbon dioxide reacts with water in air to produce glucose C6H12O6 and water H2O. All right. This is a symbol equation. Sorry. We have to write the word equation. So the word equation is carbon dioxide, CARBONDI, carbon dioxide plus water gives glucose plus, oh sorry, at the end it's not H2O, it's only oxygen that produces, right? O2, oxygen. All right, so that was environmental chemistry related question. Now we have a question related to polymers. Proteins and PET, polyethylene terephthalate, are polymers made by reaction called condensation polymerization. The diagram in figure 10.1 shows the structure of a section of protein. Draw the general structure of the amino acid monomers used to make protein. The general structure of amino acid monomers. All right. So we want to show how amino acid monomers look like. So from the top, because this is what a protein is looking like, you can simply draw what amino acids look like. So amino acids generally, uh, they look like very simple. They have a carbon in the center, and then on one side they have a carboxylic acid group, right? And then on the other side they have an amine group, NH2 group. All right, they have an amine group on the other side, nitrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. And then on top they have a hydrogen, and then on the bottom they have an R chain, right? Matlab this can increase to make as big of R chain as necessary, right? So it can be of 2 carbons, 3 carbons. It could contain an R chain containing OH group or chlorine or whatever. Okay. Proteins are polyamides. Name one other polyamide. They are asking you for another polyamide. The very famous example of a polyamide is nylon, right? Nylon is a polyamide. And which type of polyamide is it? It is a synthetic polyamide. It is a synthetic polyamide. All right. Next, we have PET is a polymer used to make plastic bottles. The diagram in figure 10.2 shows the structure of PET. All right. Name the linkage present in PET. If you look at the linkage present in PET, this is the linkage that you see repeating, right? You see this repeating structure in PET, right? And what is this? This is ester, right? This is ester linkage. The type of linkage that is present in PET is ester linkage. Next, proteins and PET are both made by condensation polymerization, right? Proteins and PET are both made by condensation polymerization. Describe the differences between condensation polymerization and addition polymerization. So you want to describe the differences between condensation polymerization and addition polymerization. So because this is of 2 marks, just have to write one thing about condensation polymerization and one thing about addition polymerization. Right? In addition polymerization, occurs in alkenes and only produces a single product because it's an addition reaction, the polymer, right? So in addition polymerization, there is no loss of mass. If the reaction is has 100% percentage yield, right? If percentage yield of reaction is 100%, that means 100 gram of reactant should produce 100 gram of desired product. Okay, but um, the condensation polymerization that you have, it occurs in condensation polymerization occurs between functional groups and produces a polymer and many small molecules such as water. H2, right? In condensation polymerization, you see that functional groups join and a polymer is produced, but also every time there is condensation reaction, every time two functional groups join, a water molecule or any other small molecule is liberated. All right, so those were some differences between addition and condensation polymerization. Now describe two environmental challenges caused by disposal of plastics such as PET. Now look, plastics, disposal of them, there are two big problems. First of all, they are biodegradable. They are biodegradable. Hence, they do not decompose and accumulate in landfill sites. Accumulate in landfill sites, right? Plastics, they have a problem that they are non-biodegradable. They do not decompose, and because they do not decompose, we cannot get rid of them by putting them in landfill sites. The organic waste like food, fruit peels, vegetable remains, and bones, etc., of uh, the stuff that we eat, those things, when we throw them as garbage, they are just thrown into a landfill site where they just naturally decompose because of the action of bacteria and fungi. Plastics, they do not decompose, unfortunately, right? Because they are extremely inert. Bacteria, fungus, these guys, they can't really act on them. So they just fill up the landfill sites without decomposing. So we do not like that. So instead, what do? We could burn them. But burning them also has serious problems, such as release of greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, or other toxic gases. All right. So burning plastic, which is called incineration, produces CO2, which is a greenhouse gas, and other toxic gases. Full stop. So these are two main problems associated with disposal of plastics. They have become a frequently repeated question nowadays since 2023. All right. So from 2023 onwards, this question keeps repeating and it repeats a lot of times. All right. I hope you guys understand. I think this is the completion of this paper. So inshallah ta'ala, in the next class, we'll do a new paper. I'll decide which one we need to do. All right. If you guys have any questions, you can ask.